The Reserve Bank of Australia should cut interest rates. Their fear of a wage price spiral was wrong. Recent data shows wage growth is slowing. The RBA's actions are hurting Australian households. The RBA raised interest rates 13 times. They believed households had too much money. They wanted to slow spending and employment. The goal was to control inflation. But their plan is not working as intended. Wage growth is now declining. Unemployment is below the RBA's target. Inflation is still a problem, but not because of wages. The RBA needs to admit their mistake and change course. Cutting rates is necessary to provide relief to Australians. The RBA's fears of a wage price spiral were always exaggerated. Now they are simply unfounded. It's time for a reality check and a change in policy. Wage growth in Australia has been stagnant for years. A 2017 report highlighted this issue. It seems little has changed. The latest data shows a significant drop in wage growth. This is the largest fall since the 2009 financial crisis. Private sector wages rose by 3.5% in the past year. This is down from 4.1% in the previous quarter. This decline is concerning. It suggests wages are not keeping pace with the cost of living. For a short time, it seemed wage growth was improving, but recent figures show a return to the pattern of 2016 to 2020. Wage growth is much slower than in the early 2000s. This trend is worrying. The RBA's actions are contributing to this problem. By raising rates, they are slowing the economy. This is leading to less demand for workers. This, in turn, is putting downward pressure on wages. The official inflation rate does not tell the whole story. It does not include mortgage repayments. These costs have skyrocketed due to the RBA's rate hikes. This has a huge impact on the cost of living for many Australians. Since March 2022, mortgage repayments have risen by 155%. This means the real cost of living has increased by 4.7%. When you factor in mortgage costs, real wages have actually decreased. Australians are worse off. While wage growth is outpacing inflation, it's not enough. The rising cost of housing is eating away at any gains. Many Australians are struggling to make ends meet. The RBA's policies are making this situation worse. And the RBA needs to look beyond the headlines. They need to consider the real impact of their decisions on households. Ignoring the true cost of living is hurting Australians. The RBA needs to change course. Cutting interest rates in December is crucial. This will help to ease the cost of living crisis. It will also help to restore purchasing power for Australians. The RBA has a responsibility to act. Their policies have contributed to this crisis. They need to provide relief to households who are struggling. Cutting rates is the first step. Lowering interest rates will reduce the cost of borrowing. This will ease pressure on mortgage holders. It will also free up income for other essential spending. This will provide much needed relief to Australian families. The RBA's fears of a wage price spiral were unfounded. It's time for them to admit their mistake. Cutting rates is the right thing to do for the Australian economy and for Australian households.